Hello and welcome to the overview video for the Skill Issue Fantasy Series Y2K edition. That's right, we are in fact using those card Indy cars for a 10-round championship. Pictured here is a nonsense fuck-ass livery that I made for myself with a bunch of Canadian content on the front and on the side, except for Honda. They're not Canadian, but whatever. And this will be the livery that I will be using for the duration of this 10-round championship. I've only been dabbling in doing liveries. It's not that great, but I figured to give it a shot. But before anything else, let's take a look at the 10 rounds and the tracks that will be used for this championship. The season opens up with round 1 at Donington Park, which is a beautiful flowing circuit with tight corners and really only 2 solid overtaking opportunities, those being the hairpins at the end of the circuit. You have to use the curbs a lot on the hilly sections of this track, which is a nightmare because this car does not like curbs, so it will be a challenge. But ultimately it is a beautiful track and I love racing here, so hoping to have a strong start. Round 2 has us in Austria, or in Spielberg if you prefer, at what I still think of as the Red Bull Ring. It is another hilly circuit, a couple of nice hairpins for overtaking, some nice long straights for slipstream opportunities, which is important in these cars because it was the 2000s IndyCar. There was no DRS, there was no batteries, it was just pedals and braking. And that's all you need on this track really, so looking forward to a fun race here. Round 3 is the first of 2 back-to-back races in the USA. We are at Road Atlanta here, another tight, twisty, hilly circuit with a banger of a long back straight for slipstreams. This track is an insane challenge to drive on, but if I can keep the 4 wheels on the ground for the entirety of the race, I have a decent chance of having some fun. So really looking forward to this one as well. For round 4, we are over to Watkins Glen. I've said it before, I will say it again, this track has an incredible flow to it, especially in the first sector with those sweepers, but a bit more of a challenge than it might appear on those sweepers because this car loves a snap oversteer on those direction changes, so gotta be heads up at all times. And looking forward to a nice challenging race here. This track loves to eat up that front left tire, so hopefully we can just keep her alive for the race. For round 5, we are finishing off the first half of the championship at Spa. There's nothing I can say about this track that has not been said 1,000 times in 1,000 ways. It is an enduring classic of motorsport. If you're thinking racing, you are probably thinking about Spa. As I said in Watkins Glen, the car that I'm using for this championship loves a snap oversteer, which is a particular challenge with Eau and Radion going uphill, losing downforce. Real easy to throw the car off the track going uphill on here, so hopefully it turns out well. Time will tell. Third rhyme. The second half of this championship kicks off with round 6 at Bathurst, Mount Panorama, however you want to call it. And selecting this track for this car, it's a little bit like going to a dentist and insisting they give you the painful shit, because this is such a nightmare to get working. I don't think I'm actually going to finish this race, but you know what? I'm going to do my damnedest. Hopefully it's a fun time, and we'll just have to see how it goes. But I love this track. It is, you got to pay attention 1000% of every possible second. Otherwise, you're going to find a wall. That's just the way it goes. It's Bathurst, baby. Round 7, we are in Japan. We are at the Suzuka circuit, one of the greatest tracks of all time. And wouldn't you know it, more sweeping S's, which means more oversteer with more curves that will spit you off at a moment's notice. I don't know if I'll survive this one, but you know what? I'm going to try because this track is incredible. One of my all-time favorites. You cannot say enough good things about this circuit, honestly. For round 8, it is off to Daytona, another classic historic track. We've all seen it, we all know it. It is surprisingly challenging in the middle road course sector with this car, and also not a track that I'm very familiar or comfortable with, so some practice will be needed here. But hoping to have some fun racing. There's ovals for me to accidentally bump and loose tires on. We're going to see how it goes, but looking forward to actually trying racing on this track for the first time. How about that? For round 9, we are off to Brands Hatch, a track that, on the surface of it, looks kind of simple actually, but the tighter turns on this track, there is no grip, and on these cars, boy, you gotta fight to keep the wheels moving forward. Looking forward to racing here. It has been so long. I think since F1 2013 actually was the last time like I regularly raced anything on this track. So it should be exciting, hoping to have a good time. For the 10th and final round of this fantasy championship, we are off to France for the Circuit de la Sarthe for 30 minutes of Le Mans. You know it, you love it, it's an incredible track. It is a long lap. I think I last did like a 3-minute 14 lap when I was doing the recording for this, because boy, it just keeps going. And it is an incredible challenge for someone with ADHD who drifts off into space sometimes. So we're gonna see how that goes. But I'm hoping for some interesting racing battles. There's a couple of incredibly long straights to do the slipstream thing in. There's a couple of hairpins to do the dive bomb thing in. There's a couple of S's right at the start to spit the car off into the hills on. We're just gonna have to see how it plays out, man. So that was the livery, those were the tracks. Now let's talk about the rules that I'm going to use for this championship, because it's going to be different than seasons past that I've done. So first and foremost, it will not be a lap system. I'm going to do 30-minute races with a rolling start just to try it out, because I've pretty much only done standing start races in the past. Now, in the past, because I've done lap races, I've usually set the tire wear to be a bit accelerated. With there not being a lap count or anything to base that off of, I've just done away with the tire wear acceleration. It'll be real time. And on the back of that, I'm also negating any fuel usage, because recently I read through Reddit, obviously where all information is stored, that the fuel weight does not affect the AI cars. And I'm already bad at this. I don't need to be giving myself fake challenges on top of that. So there's not gonna be any fuel burn. It's just gonna be worrying about the tires and the timing and everything like that. So that's totally fine. Just gonna try to be as fast as I can for as long as I can. Now, the points system for this championship I've kept simple. If you finish in first place, you get 10 points, and that goes down 1 point per position until P10, where you get 1 point. Everyone under P10 gets nothing. And this is gonna be a 30-car grid, which means 2/3 of the cars, probably including myself, are going to get absolutely nothing at the end of the race except for the memories of the challenge. And that's pretty much it, actually. I've got the race weekend set up for practice, 10-minute qualifying, 30-minute race. So, I mean, unless something interesting happens, I'm probably just going to go straight to the rolling start of the races. And looking forward to getting this underway. Recording's going to start soon with round 1 in the next couple of days. And we're going to kick it off from there. Until then, thanks for watching, have a good day, make good choices, and bye.